Hey y'all, Ms. B, and I want to talk about The White Lotus. Now, I have been watching The White Lotus since season 1, and the prefaces of the show is they're at this hotel in like these beautiful locations. So, season 1 was in Maui, and season 2 was in Italy, and then we have season 3, which just wrapped on Sunday, which is in Thailand. The crazy part is all of these places I want to visit. I love tropical places, especially Thailand. Definitely want to visit Thailand. But I've like been wanting to have a conversation with people like, have you watched the season finale of White Lotus? Like, have you watched it? And it's like a lot of people that I'm engaging with or talking with, it's like, no, I'll watch it, whatever. I will say this. When the White Lotus season 3 first came out, I watched like the first 2 episodes and I was like, I can't do the Sunday to Sunday thing. I'm just going to wait for it to all come out so I can binge it all. But to give a little background of it, the writer and creator is Mike White, and all of the seasons are filmed at the Four Seasons, like in real life. But on the show, they're called the White Lotus Hotels. So that's where it is. And in this season, they did 6 months of filming in Thailand. I mean, what a wonderful place to be. Like, if you watch this show and just look at the cinematography, the views, the everything, the beauty of Thailand, it's like, oh my God, I want to go so bad. And then it's also, you could tell that Mike White did a lot of research in Buddhism and things like that. I don't really know a lot. Like, I know about a lot of different religions. Buddhism is not something I very rarely come across somebody that's Buddhist or whatever. I could say the only famous person, I'm not trying to be funny or anything, that I really knew who was a Buddhist, who really spoke out loud about it, was Tina Turner. I mean, we saw it in the movie, but in her real life, she would talk about the chants and what they meant. Even on her very last documentary before she passed away, she would talk about how Buddhism changed her life. And you can see how that spirituality and that connection with that whole religion ties into this season of The White Lotus. I will say, though, also, this season kind of started off a little slow. That's why I was like, I need to... At first, I was going to like let 5... It was only 8 episodes. I was going to let maybe 4 or 5 episodes, and then I was going to watch it. But I was like, you know what? I'm over all this housewives drama. I'm just going to binge it all. And I honestly binged it all last week, and I watched the season finale this week. To give you a little context. So each time on each season, when the people who are visiting the White Lotus Hotel they come on a boat. Last time, in Hawaii, they came on a boat. In Italy, they came on a boat. And the staff is always there to greet them as the boat comes on. So on this season, we have a family, the Ratliffs. And then we also have a friend group, Katie, Laurie, and Jacqueline. Jacqueline is an actress and kind of an aged actress, kind of washed up a little bit, kind of trying to have her footing still a little bit, but not so much. And then you have Katie, who, based on their conversation, like, they all grew up together, but like their lives kind of had them different places, you know, for different periods of time. And they're meeting up for like this girls trip. And even Jacqueline was like, her husband said, "Are y'all having like a midlife crisis or something to the effect?" But they all meet up, and Laurie's a lawyer, and Katie, like I said, Katie's like, seems like she came real conservative. She's moved to Austin. She does charity. Her husband is, I guess, very wealthy, whatever. So then also you have a couple, which is an older gentleman. His name is Rick. And you have, he's with a younger girl named Chelsea. I would say the first episode, I was so distracted by Chelsea's teeth. And if y'all know what I'm talking about, if you watch The White Lotus, you know what I'm talking about. But her acting, the writing, superb. Chef's kiss. So anyway, this type of White Lotus that they're going to is a digital detox. I would love to go there. I keep hearing about different wellness centers that you cannot have your phone. There's no Wi-Fi. You know, they take your phone or whatever. I'm not really gonna go episode by episode. I'm just giving a little prefaces of what the White Lotus, if you never watched it before and you want to watch it, that's what it's about, and give you what happened at the season finale and a little gems or whatever to connect the dots of the different characters. So previously, Jennifer Coolidge, her name was Tanya, played in season 1, and she was killed in season 2 by her husband, Gary. Yes, no, actually his real name is Greg, but he changed his name in Thailand to Gary. And in Maui, she like led this staffer on who was like doing like this meditation, healing, or whatever, which was played by Natasha Rothwell. Anybody don't know Natasha Rothwell? Best known for Kelly in Insecure. And she also had a show on Hulu recently that got canceled to Die Alone or something. But her name is Belinda. So she wasn't on season 2, but she's here in Thailand. And what happened in Maui was Tanya ghosted her, and subsequently ghosting her led to her husband, Gary Gregg, setting her up to be killed in Italy. And he got all her money, and he's hiding out in Thailand because they looking for him in Italy. So that's kind of like the premises of it. I think I talked about, that's like the premises of it. So let's talk about the Ratliffs. The Ratliffs are like this very wealthy couple wealthy family from North Carolina, I believe. At first, the accent, the heavy, I'm from the South, the heavy, you could tell when somebody in the South and they pouring it on too thick. The mother was getting on my nerves. Her name is Victoria, was getting on my nerves. I was like, and she was so out of touch. I'm like, is this how really wealthy people are? They so out of touch? It was like, oh, this and that, and oh, they're not nice people, and all these things or whatever. So the day that they get to the White Lotus, the father is like in finance, and his son, Saxon. So they have 3 kids, 2 boys and a girl. So you have Saxon is like the oldest, and then you have Piper, who's the daughter, and then you have Lachlan. He's the youngest, 17. And as soon as they get there, like the dad's phone starts blowing up or whatever. And he finds out basically some investment he did was basically a scheme. The Fed's on his case. They like, he's losing his mind the entire season. And this family is so detached from reality. Nobody's noticing, like, he's spiraling. Like, Victoria's on her lorazepam. Saxon is like that one of those guys, you know, those Ivy League jerks that want to buff up and be all a jerk about it. And Lachlan is just trying to like find his footing, but it was like always this weird energy with the kids. Like even the beginning of the season, Lachlan and Saxon had to share a room together, and he was like, I don't know how I'm gonna jerk off with you here in the room. And then how Lachlan was looking at his brother, I was like, that's odd. But we're gonna get to them in that situation later. So just to go through all the episodes really quickly. Piper comes there because she's supposed to do a thesis on Buddhism in this monk book that she's been reading. So she visits the temple, her and Lachlan seem close. And Saxon is just like beating Lachlan up, like, you need to be a man's man, and blah, 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 blah. So the whole time that they're there, the daddy gets the information. Like, first it comes up that the Washington Post is trying to contact him. I think the Washington Journal, one of those newspapers, was trying to contact him. Then he finds out basically his life is imploding. They're on the other side of the world. It's different time zones. His life is imploding. So the whole time, y'all, he is constantly, he stole his wife's lorazepam. She's like, where's my lorazepam? She can't do nothing without her. She can't take a massage without the lorazepam. She can't think without the lorazepam. She need her. I caught my second wind, but I'm about to take me a lorazepam. She was just getting on my nerves. And so the father finds out that his life is imploding. He still terrorizing Pam and starts taking him. And he's just like, he don't know what to do. And it's crazy because the family is just so disconnected in a family full of narcissists that they don't even realize like the daddy is like out of it. Like, if you're on a vacation with your family member, especially like really like intermediate family, the father, mother, brother, sister, like you're gonna be like, daddy, what's up with you? Like at one point Saxon does like, daddy, what's going on with you? But he tells him like, if it's something to do with work, because his son works with him, let me know, I'll handle it because I love working. And the dad was thinking about like, even when he was talking to his lawyer, he was saying, I'm not gonna have my house, I'm not gonna have anything. He was like, the lawyer basically told him, you better just be happy you're gonna have a couple months in feds. And he was like, I can't go to jail. And he was like, I mean, you don't have no choice. Like, it's bad, it's real bad. So basically the whole season 3, the daddy is spiraling. Nobody notices. At one point, he steals somebody's GUN, the security guard. His name is Guy. Sorry. His name is Guy Talk. I cannot pronounce any of these names. I'm sorry, y'all. I love Thai food. I love the country Thailand. I want to visit it someday, but I cannot, like, in some scenes, like between Guy Talk and this girl, Mook, who also works at the resort, they only speak in their native tongue, and you can't really understand it. You can't, unless you reading the subs. I also want to say the music is phenomenal. Like, everything is done here is phenomenal. But I will say it just started off a little bit slow. But anyway, the kids are just really weird, like real weird energy. And I also want to mention, I'm just going to skip ahead, episode 5 called Full Moon. Like, they take this yacht and basically meet up with the girl Chelsea, who I'm gonna get to, and this girl Chloe, who is like Gary's. He changed his name. His name was Greg, named Gary. His like hired hired like lady of the night, basically. And they go to this party and they get high drunk or whatever, and they basically have the two brothers basically have like this incestual scene. Yes, they were high. Yes, they were drunk, but it was like, did y'all already feel like this? Did y'all already want to do this? Like, what's going on? Like, it was crazy work. That's when the episode kind of picked up. Full Moon episode. See, I think it was episode 5. Yeah. Moon Party. Because on that episode, that's when Piper reveals, basically she didn't come there for her thesis. She came there because she wants to live in Thailand. And then the mama just goes off the hinges. Remember, she ain't got her lorazepam. She ain't got her anxiety medication, child. She just go, you want to move to China? Mind you, they're in Thailand. You want to live in Taiwan? Mind you, they're in Thailand. It was crazy. So the mother comes with this idea like, okay, let's go to the temple. It could be a cult. It could be this. You're going to wind up like all these people and be a sister wife to somebody. Like, it was just all this crazy talk. She was like, okay. They go visit the monk. And in that moment when they go visit the monk, the daddy, again, he's spiraling. He talks to the monk. And he asks the monk about death. And the monk gives him this very good dialogue about what death is. It's like a connection to water. Like, you come from water, you build up, and then you go back into the ocean. Like, and it shows drops of, water coming up in the air, like from a wave, and then coming back down. And that's basically life, and going back into the ocean like a wave and going back. You have to watch it, y'all. So, the girl decides to spend the night at the temple, and basically I don't know if she visits tonight in the temple with her brother. Lachlan decides to visit the temple with her. Like, they were close. Seemed like the closer symbols, but still weird. And that night she visited the temple. She just had this weird energy about her with the food and everything. But I was like, is she having this weird energy about it? Because also Lachlan lets him know, like, I want to come with you. Like, I want to spend a year in Thailand with you. And I don't know if she wanted to have that just for herself, and because she's eventually going to change her mind. She's not going to do it. Or she really just snobby and out of touch like her mom. She's like, they don't have any air conditioner. There was vegetarian, but you could tell it wasn't organic and all these things. Meanwhile, the daddy is plotting to kill them. He's been plotting either to kill himself or kill them, or he don't know, because they can't live without money. The wife tells him, he the whole time he's spiraling, he's asking different, each one of them, like, he asked the wife, like, how would you feel? We didn't have all this. And she was like, I wouldn't want to be here. I don't want to die broke. I wouldn't want to be broke. I wouldn't want to be regular. And also he asks, the son Saxon. Saxon tells him, like, your life is my life. Like, I want to be just like you. Like, I want to make all this money. The only person who tells him that I can do without money is Lachlan. So basically, the last night that they're there, and this is on the season finale, I'm just gonna skip ahead. I'm just gonna go with the different people, different couples, different people on the show. Tells him, the last night of the trip, the dad was like, oh, I want to make a pina colada. But before then, when they first got to the resort, they was getting unpacked and the lady was walking them around, giving them tours or whatever. And this fruit was everywhere, all on the ground and everything. And she was like, don't eat that. That fruit is poisonous. It can kill you. And come to find out, they call this fruit really exists. And I was thinking in my head, I'm like, why they have this tree just around a resort? But I'm like, if somebody tells you something going to kill you, you're not going to eat it, right? Remember, the daddy life is imploding and he wants to figure out some way to kill himself or kill his family. That's all he been plotting about. He been stealing the wife's pills, taking handfuls at a time till he runs out, and because he can't go back to a life of what he gonna have to deal with in America, which is the feds, basically. So he takes the fruit and he asked the lady at the hotel again, like, what did you say this fruit does? And she was like, I wouldn't touch it. It kills you and it's not tasty. The seed of the fruit kills you. So he goes and blends it all up. And then that night at the dinner, the last night that they're there, he decides that he wants to make pina coladas. And they like, pina coladas? Oh my gosh. But he doesn't want the younger son. He was like, no, you can't have none because you're not 18. But that's not why. The younger son is the only one who told him he don't care about money. He don't care about living with money. And also, the brothers, like I said, have this incestual moment in season 5. And Saxon and Lachlan have this exchange where he tells him in the finale, he was like, do you hate me? He was like, let's just let it go. Like, he didn't want to talk about it anymore. And he was like, I don't want you to be obsessed with this. Like, he points at him pride every area. He was like, that's not that. He was like, I'm a people pleaser. And I please people. And you see in previous episodes, like they have therapists there. They have different types of wellness there. And then the therapist already had told him, like, he's a people pleaser. And he's like, it looked like you want us to be pleased. Very weird. Anyway, he was like, just let it go, whatever. So let's hop back. The daddy makes the pina coladas, and then instantly everybody about to take a sip. I think they took a little bit of sip, and then he threw it out of everybody's hands. He was like, oh, the coconut milk is bad. The coconut milk is bad. But he doesn't clean out the blender where he made the coconut milk in. And in the season finale, Lachlan gets up. Remember, like, he wants to be like his brother because his brother's working all these protein shakes, probably have steroids or something in them, and doesn't clean it out. I mean, it was about this much of the poison, like right here, left in the blender, and he makes himself a shake, not cleaning out the blender. I was like, who would make a milkshake in a blender, a daiquiri, whatever you blend up in your blender, a smoothie, and not clean it out? Like, I'd be like, who did this now? Who left all of this? Well, we knew the daddy made it before. So anyway, he makes him a shake and mixes all the poisonous seeds in it and basically dies by the pool. The family not even paying attention to this boy is dying by the pool. They just in their own world, like they ain't paying attention to the daddy spiraling. And then, we'll see you at breakfast. So anyway, the boy basically dies, and then the daddy wakes up. Everybody left him because the mama was like, he needs to sleep. Because I think she started to notice, like, okay, he's overkill, like acting not himself. So she was like, we're going to let daddy sleep. So they all leave him. The boy's like at the pool, and he dies. He dies, and then the son dies, and then the dad wakes up, and then he looks at the blender, and he realizes like, oh crap, and then he sees his son outside like bent over, not responsive, not talking, and the boy dies. And the way he dies is like him drowning and drowning and drowning, and he looks up at the sky and he sees these monks around him. And eventually, the dad is like screaming for help. Nobody comes. It's crazy because it's like a huge, luxurious resort where they have private butlers and everything, and nobody comes. But eventually, the boy is resurrected. I was thinking to myself, I was like, so close to Easter, they gonna have this boy be resurrected. But baby, he was resurrected. He literally died. When he wakes up and comes back conscious again, he tells his dad, he said, I think I saw God. Yeah, so that's the rat lifts. That's what happens with the rat lifts. So let's talk about Belinda. Like I said, Belinda is Kelly from Insecure. She worked at the Maui location of the White Lotus. She came here to work here in the Thailand location, and she meets with this guy that works there, supposed to be teaching her how to do massages, whatever. And they didn't fall in love, like they hooked up. Her son is supposed to come, and she keeps saying it. Her son is gonna come. Anyway, one night at dinner, she recognizes Gary Gregg, the guy from season 1, and she realized all throughout the episode, you'll see that he killed his wife, the Tonya lady, played by Jennifer Coolidge. She's dead, and the Italian police is looking for her, and he had to start questioning the hotel, like, who is she, all this information. So long story short, he tries to tell her, I give you $100,000, you never say nothing. So by the time her son gets there, he negotiates. I want to say shout out to U of H. He said, I'm a business major from U of H. I can do this. I negotiated. So they negotiated it. By the time they sat down, I was thinking in my head, I was like, I kept thinking he's going to kill her. No, he doesn't kill her. The son comes, does his Google, and finds out that Jennifer Coolidge, Tonya, was worth $500 million. Almost $500 million. $500 million. And he was only going to offer Belinda $100,000. So the son negotiates, and then it's still like a comedic relief with Kelly, aka Belinda, like choking on her drink, like, cause she, blind son going there talking big talk, heavy talk, like, no, we ain't taking $100,000. He ain't said it like that, but we're gonna take $5 million, 1% of what you're worth. And she storms out, but she flips it on both of them because the son think he kept saying, I got you, I'm gonna be there or whatever. And come to find out, like, she flips it. She's like, no, he knows that we're scared of him. We need to flip this. And you make him scared of us. We know the information. We know he killed his wife. So you need to go and close this deal and make him nervous of us. And come to find out, guess what he does? He wires her the $5 million. And she, during that time, had kindled a relationship with the guy that was training her, who works at the hotel. Poor child. And she basically tells him, everybody had mixed reactions about her leaving, because she eventually leaves. Like, I was like, Belinda, girl, like, you just hunched this man. Girl, you got your money and left. I was like, okay. Because she came off like a saint or whatever. But I was like, maybe she's taking the money and doing something good with it. And plus, his wife ghosted her. Like, she sold her a dream in season 1. I might go back and watch it. She sold her a dream just to ghost her and wound up dead in Italy. So anyway, Belinda leaves, and little poor child, this is a little heartbroken. And she, that's how how the season ends with her. And we're going to talk briefly about Mook and Gator. I hope I'm saying his name right. I don't mean to offend anybody. And they work at the hotel. The whole time, their body languages, they like each other, they date each other. At the beginning, she was like feeling him, but she always seemed like to pressure him. And then one incident in one of the episodes, the hotel gets robbed, and they want him to learn how to use a GUN, and he don't feel comfortable with it because he was like, what would Buddha think? And he was battling with that, and he was going to quit. And after she found out he was going to quit, she started being like, well, He was like, well, let's go on and get date tonight. Oh no, my mama hurt her back. He was like, well, what about later? Oh no, I got homework. She didn't say that, but it's like she was like getting ready to like curve him. And I was like, I don't like Mook. But even throughout the episode, even throughout each episode, I was noting her like pressuring him, like, you could be strong. He was going back to his spirituality. You would see him praying to the temples and stuff. He was like, what would Buddha think? What would Buddha think about me killing someone, taking someone's life? I'm not a killer. I ain't a killer, but don't push me, because we're gonna see he is gonna be a killer. And then during all of this, you have the owner of the hotel. This lady, I cannot pronounce her name, not even gonna try to. She was washed up. I think I said this already. She was a washed up singer. Or maybe I didn't. But anyway, she's a washed up singer. Used to be very popular in her day. She's very intrigued by Jacqueline, who's the actress of the girls that came on the White Lotus. And she wanted a picture with her and gave her card. And that's how Rick, who we're going to get to, was able to like smooch her, because she was just still living in this world like, girl, you ain't that girl no more. Like, let it go. Let it get over it. Like, your time is up. Okay? But she's the owner of the hotel, and her husband is like this huge big American, his name is Hollinger, like this huge big American businessman that's completely created his life and basically owns half of Thailand and owns the hotel. And Rick is fixating on killing him because his mama told her on her deathbed that the reason his life is so effed up, because you'll see Rick is angry from the time they land in Thailand. Even his girlfriend Chelsea, he has a migraine, he's jet lagged. She will always say he's a yin to her yang, very soulmate. She kept saying he's her soulmate. She's a hopeless romantic. Even on boat night, even full moon party night, while the girl Chloe, who's now with the escort to Gary Gregg, has sex with both of the brothers, she was like, I can't do it. I can't cheat on him. I can't cheat on Rick. So anyway, at one point, Rick goes to Bangkok to like schmooze this lady. He meets up with a friend. And this friend sits down when he gets to Bangkok. I guess back in that day, he was wild boys. The friend sits back and updates Rick on how his life been in Thailand. And in one moment, they sit down in a hotel. He's like, they order drinks. He was like, I'm drinking tea. He was like, I got here. He was having all this sex, and then he wanted to have more sex, and then more sex. Then he started hiring lady boys. Everybody know in Thailand, I'll be side-eyeing a lot of men that be going to Thailand without their wives. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. And he was like, eventually he wanted to be an Asian girl. And he would dress up and hire Asian girls to watch him having sex, getting sexed up by these lady boys. It was a crazy story. It was a crazy moment. And the guy was looking like, oh, okay, so, But he was like, that's all right now. I'm sober now. I'm a Buddhist, and, I changed my life. But anyway, Rick asks his friend to go to the house and pretend to be some producer. Anyway, they wind up going to the people's house and to the owner's house, the Hollinger's house, the older lady and her husband, who owns half of Thailand. And he gets in his face, he confronts him. And at that moment, I said, that's his daddy. Which later in the season finale, after he kills him, we found out that that's his daddy. But he didn't know that was his daddy until after he killed him. The lady yells, he is your father. He told me. So that's what happened with Rick. But the sad part is there was a scene where the last episode where I forgot how she said it. She said, oh gosh, it was kind of like a Shakespearean type of moment where she was like saying about fate. She was saying, what did I write that at? But anyway, she was basically telling him, like, your fate is my fate, and our fate is together, basically. And they both died together. One thing about the White Lotus, too, is it always starts off with, you'll see somebody body rolled out, but you don't know who got killed or who was there. Who got killed there and what happened. This episode didn't start off like that, like, because you usually see body bags rolling out. This episode started off with gunshots and Belinda's son getting a therapy session from one of the ladies there, and nobody knows what the shooting is. Now when we see the season finale, we know all that had happened. But it was like a Shakespearean thing. Like, she was so in love with this. I love this man. I'm so in love with this. Like, she loved that man down. Most of the ladies that were with the older men, they call them, I wrote it down. They call them LBHers. Yeah, losers back at home. Bald white guys, essentially. So everywhere you will look, it will be a bald white guy with like a younger, prettier girl. But that wasn't the case for Chelsea. She loved him. And Saxon liked her. She changed Saxon because she got him reading books and all of that stuff. But she really loved Rick. And they had a shootout. And Rick won the shootout. But he looked down and he found out that Chelsea was dead. And he picked her up. It was like a Shakespearean movie. He picks her up. He walks away. And I was thinking, where's he walking to? Because he just killed this lady husband on her property. But it is eventually Gator, who said he could never kill someone. The lady screaming, kill him, shoot him. But she's saying it in their native tongue, kill him, shoot him. And Gator kills him and shoots him. Remember, he kept saying he didn't want to be a killer. That wasn't in him. Buddha wasn't going to do it. And gets a promotion and becomes her personal bodyguard based on killing Rick. And that's basically, essentially what happened on season 3, episode 8 of The White Lotus. I want to say one part of the girlfriends that stuck out to me the most, because the girlfriends were like, this is why I was like, I don't hang around a lot of females. They were all two-faced. They would talk about each other to one another. The Jacqueline girl kept pushing Laurie to have sex with the worker Valentine, this guy from Russia who's been working at the White Lotus for 3 years, and she wound up having sex with him. And then one night she gets mad at them. They have this big huge blowout, all three of them. And they basically tell us, it's not our life, our problem. Your life is messed up. It's not our problem that you stayed at that corporate job as long as you did. It's not our problem that you have married the man that you married. Mind you, all of them got issues, but they pointed it all at Laurie. So she goes out to a fight night that night and then sleeps with one of Valentine's friends, these guys from Russia they had partied with the night before. And after they get to having sex, he was like, my mom is really sick. You have $10,000. And she was like, no, I don't have it on me. He was like, you can sell it to me. She was like, well, I don't know. He was like, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. And this girl had to jump out the window because he had a crazy Russian girlfriend that kept stalking him, and finds him and literally beats her across the head. And she runs and drops in the cab, but she never tells her friends that. She tells her friends that, she hooked up with him, but she didn't give the details about him asking her for $10,000. But that's the crazy story. That's the crazy thing. Like, going into these foreign countries, like, people know, like, to stay at a place like the White Lotus, aka the Four Seasons, people know you got a coin. In Thailand, they know you got a coin, and them men gonna be hunting you down to try to get your coin. And that's what he was doing. But I wanted to say, outside of that, it was a scene at the last dinner that all the girlfriends had. At first, Laurie wasn't really interacting with them anymore after they had the blow up. And she comes to dinner and she has this monologue. And it touched my soul. I was going to pull up the monologue and read it, but I'm already 33 minutes into this video and I don't want it to be too lengthy. But I would advise y'all to go read it. As a mother, as someone who used to be married, as somebody from corporate America, that monologue spoke to my soul. The girl that played Laurie, she get an Emmy for that. It spoke to my soul. Go read it. It's trending. It's epic. But that's kind of how The White Lotus ends, guys. The season 3 season finale ends. It's like a quick rush of The White Lotus season finale and also The White Lotus in general. If you really want to understand the concept based off of like little tidbits of what I gave you or whatever, just go watch it. Start from season 1. It's on HBO Max. Start from season 1, season 2, and it'll take you to season 3. I would say out of all the 3 seasons, I would say season 1 and 2 are my best, my favorite. Now, I won't crap on season 3. It was just a really slow start. It was a lot of anxiety, especially with that daddy trip kind of kid. He didn't know if he want to kill himself, kill his family. He just know they can't live without no money. And then, you know, the 3 girlfriends, and they not really friends. They all talk about each other, and all they like, you got the washed up actress, you got the girl conservative who lives in Austin now, who, you know, is all prudish now, and then you have Laurie, who her life is falling apart. She's been at the same firm her whole life, and when I tell you go watch her monologue. If y'all don't watch anything else about this season finale, go listen to Laurie's monologue. Google it and you'll see. But anyway, y'all, that's my quick rush recap of The White Lotus. I cannot wait to see where season 4 is going to be. That's always the guess. Everybody else is going to say, it's going to be here, it's going to be there. They did say that Mike White, the director, the creator, doesn't want to do anywhere like water-based anymore. Remember, it was in Maui, then it was in Italy, now it's in Thailand. So somewhere else. It'd be great, you know, to see where he does it next. But I love this show. It's a great show. This is like my second time like doing a series. I watch a lot of series. I know my content on here is a lot of housewives. I didn't want to talk about no more housewives today. I am especially with this Kenya, Atlanta stuff this week, I am housewives out. I don't even know if I'm going to do my video on Sunday that I usually do. But anyway, that's my rushed recap, guys. Go watch the season 3 of The White Lotus. It's only 8 episodes. I will say the season finale was like an hour and some change longer than the rest of the episodes. Great show, great writing, gives like Shakespeare with some comedy, with some really like heart-dropping moments. But I will tell you, even with the monk, even him speaking about waking up in the morning, like they have the monk that the daughter Piper went to go see on the season finale episode. He wakes up talking about how people wake up with anxiety, not knowing how the day is going to be, not knowing what to think, not knowing how things are going to go. And that's your constant thought process throughout the day. Very good show. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful ending. I will hope y'all will go watch it. And I hope this is not too rushed. I just don't want to be in here just yammering on and give y'all just, you know, the basics, the meats and potatoes of the things, you know, the meats and potatoes. But that is it now for my recap of a lot of the backstory of White Lotus and also the season finale, which was epic. I wouldn't say epic, like paradise epic, but great writing, great everything. Really Shakespearean, especially when Rick and Chelsea died. Anyway, I talked enough. Like, comment, and please subscribe so I can do more videos and get, you know, if y'all don't watch The White Lotus and y'all get turned on to it, like, drop it out in the comments and let me know. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye, y'all.